Alright everyone, today we're going to be doing the gameplay of Chronojet versus Viamance Bruce. Um, this is part of our series to get a gameplay video and the 2 deck profiles for every nation. We are now moving on to Dark States. We've profiled both Chronojet and Bruce at this moment. And these are the decks that we're playing. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Chronojet, but I didn't have another Dark States deck ready, and since we kind of wanted to stay in the theme of playing a very competitive deck or a high-tier meta deck versus a sort of underpowered, maybe something in the B or C tier, I decided to play Chronojet for this. Kat owned this deck, so I decided to play it, and he played Bruce, which is one of the decks that he loves to play. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of encounter decks, but you know, they're part of the game. Not much we can do. Here we see Cat soul charges a heal, which is very unfortunate. And then I essentially get a free thing here, so I'll draw for going second, and then draw for that, and then get the crest because Chronojet is so free. I'm not petty at all. I didn't get absolutely destroyed at regionals at one point because of these decks, but that's fine. Swing, get a crit. So 2 damage right away. He gets a. I remember this. He gets 2 draw triggers back to back, which is very, very cringe. But what can you do? He's playing Bruce. I can't really fault him. Right. He goes for his turn. Pitches something. I can't remember exactly. I think it was a trigger. Draws a card for that, and then I think he makes a board here just to push. Never mind, he just calls that 1 grade 2, or just swings the van, and that's it. I make it 2 to pass, nothing. Go back to my turn. The Chronojet doesn't really need CB, so I decided let's just guard early so that we can get there to the end. Confuse my G-Zone with my right deck, go to grade 2 with Mazergear, and then here I just this is a weird play, but I call out the Brainwash Solar and then realize, oh, it doesn't get power, and I'm like, okay, crap, well, that's fine. I'll just call the grade 1 that lets you draw, so I just Soul Blast the 2 to draw a card. Right, and now that column can hit, so I'll just swing with those for 16 to his Vanguard. I think he just takes it, yep, gets a crit, and I swing, go, hey, want to pass, and he says it, no, and I get nothing, so it goes back to him. He does forget that if he goes to grade 3, I can stride on him right away, but he does realize this like way after the fact, and he's a little bit upset because he realizes, like, damn it, my deck wants to, because this Bruce, specifically Viamance, wants to go second so that it can activate its final burst and get the restand, which he is unable to get here because I'm not at grade 3 yet. So he soul charges grade 1, calls it out. I think he just calls it, yeah, behind the grade 2. Doesn't really do anything too different here. Do you think he just calls the grade 1 that gives triple drive just to get some more cards? And if I remember correctly, I think he just turns sideways after this. He says, like, there's no need to commit more, and he realizes he's already made the mistake of going up to grade 3 first, which not much he could have done. But oh, never mind, he does call something to the left hand side. Goes to battle phase, gets final rush. So now his grade 1s are swinging for 13, so that hits. I don't get anything. He swings with Vanguard, and I say no guard if I remember correctly, because there's no reason to. He has triple drive. It would be too much of a waste. So he gets a heal, goes down to 2. Power to the rear guard, and then nothing on the last one. I again don't get anything. Swings with that rear guard, and I think again I just go, I'll take it, because the number was huge and there was no reason for me to do it. Oh, never mind. Did we do the math wrong there? Yeah, we did. He forgot that he had a trigger on there, but that's fine. Who doesn't make mistakes playing this game, because math is hard, so Right up, Soul Blast 1 to go get a grade 3. I'm going to get Bali. And I think I should move it up. Yeah, move it up so that people can see it. And there we go. Cut. And then I just pitch him to Stride. Stride into, yep, the normal. This deck doesn't have very complex plays, unfortunately. He just plays what he knows what you're going to do. Use the effect to put the booster up on the bottom because I know that he only plays 2 of each, so I just want to get rid of his optionality to do that. Don't want him to have triple drive essentially for free. Call out the grade 2, and I actually misplay here by you'll see in a second. I swing this at the rear guard, which doesn't make sense, but I realize that after the fact, and I go, well, that's too bad. It's only when it attacks Vanguard, unfortunately. Then I'll do the 2 grade 1s to the other grade 1 because I want to get rid of his rear guards. If you can retire his rear guards, you make it so that he can't get stuff, or he has to keep committing stuff to the board. And here I swing with Vanguard, call out the grade 2 again because I don't want to mess up that play anymore. So call it out. It gains +5 from the G zone, and then +5 for its own ability, and then another +5 for the crest. So there's the flip, and then I think he no guards this, so nothing. Critical trigger, so crit to van, power to rear, and then heal trigger, and I do heal back down to 2. And he gets a heal trigger as well, so he heals down as well. And I swing with the rear guard. I think he's thinking about guarding here because it is a very big number. I think we were arguing about if it was 30 or 40, and I think I told him it was 40. So it goes to the bottom, and this time I think I get a Brainwash Swirler to get some soul for next turn. So call Swirler and Soul Charge 1. I'm not personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Chronojet deck. I just feel like it was made a little bit too free. There's no real cost to a lot of this. We just played it because it is one of the meta decks for Dark States at the moment. I also Soul Charged my OT on this one, which hurt. I'm not gonna say it didn't. It was it sucks, especially because the Dark States OT is one of the strongest in my opinion. Seeing as it gives you your Vanguard a permanent +10k and a crit. It's not even like a once or something like that, which is kind of annoying. But all the OT over triggers are insane, so it doesn't really matter. Here he calls another grade 2 to get out the booster, and then he calls Eden. Eden is one of the strongest cards in this deck because his resend effect is just essentially free here. It doesn't cost as much, and he puts so much pressure. He makes it so that I'm unable to intercept, and this column is huge on top of Persona Ride. I think I guard this one because I'm going to take his restanding one. So he swings with Vanguard. Thankfully, Vanguard here isn't huge. I think I just take this. Yeah. Take it. He doesn't get anything. I get a crit, so I'm able to increase my power a bit. These numbers are still insane regardless. He goes after the rear guard, which I'm very thankful for. Then he goes after Van, and I just take it because it was a huge number. He had a draw trigger. I draw. And then I think, unfortunately, the writing is kind of on the wall here. I am going to pitch to Stride, going into the Stride again, because that next stage was cool, but it's not going to win you any games. So, yeah, bottom the one that's making his Vanguard an 18k. And then I think I had another Brainwash Swirler, do that, Soul Charge, +5/+5. And then I had another with a grade 2 in my hand. And, yep. I think he asked if I had Soul Charge there, and I just went, yeah, I showed him what I did to confirm. So here I don't misplay, and I swing at the Vanguard correctly for, this was 1525, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 25. He guards it. I call another Brainwash Solar behind Van. I think it took me a while to get this done. That's another thing I don't like about this deck. This deck takes so long where you're shuffling and soul charging and fucking moving things around. But it gets free power for pretty much everything. And here I forget that you could just boost with that grade 1 in the back. I wasn't gonna fucking call anything there, so why didn't I just boost with it? Doesn't make sense that I didn't. And I think here we're arguing about the shield value of it, because the Brainwash Solar is like 28, and we were confused of if this was 28 exactly or not. He ends up keeping the grade 2 and just guarding from hand. So here I use the effect to bottom the Brainwash Solar and then go fetch the grade 2 again, because again this deck fucking essentially plays itself. Don't really need to do much thinking here. And this grade 2 has plus 35 because the stride gives it plus 5 for each card face up in the G zone, and then the crest does as well, and he gives himself plus 5, and that Brainwash Solar is at 18 because it got 2 boost. So this rear guard column is huge. He does perfect guard Vanguard here, so triple drive is nothing, a critical which gets on that grade 2, and then nothing. And then here it is a huge number, and I asked him, do you have a PG? And he goes, no, I need the number. So I start counting. I figure out that yes, this is an incredibly large number, and he does not have enough cards in hand to guard. So he goes, well, I've got to risk it. This is, I think, unfortunately the last attack. He doesn't get he doesn't have enough guard in hand, and I don't remember him living past this turn. So yeah, we're just confirming that is what the card says, because it says choose a unit, so I just chose a unit that I called it. We don't really play this deck a lot because it's not really fun for us. So I primarily play glitter decks, but here he just goes, nope, I got nothing, and that's GG.